Claude is one of the most powerful AI tools out there, but you might find yourself using it and still bouncing between apps to actually get anything done. Maybe you ask it for help, but then end up in Slack or Gmail or digging through files anyway. And if that's your workflow, you're not really saving time, you're just adding friction. So in this video, I'm going to show you 5 Claude connectors that actually plug into your tools and handle real tasks. That means you can run workflows, manage your data, and get more work done, all without leaving Claude. Let's dive in. The first thing you need to do is actually connect the connectors. So in Claude, I'm going to click on my profile icon on the bottom left of the screen and then choose settings. And on this screen, I'm going to choose connectors on the left-hand side. I've got a few already connected here, but to show you how it works, I click Browse Connectors and search for what I'm looking for. In this case, I'm looking for Jotform. That's going to be the first one we cover. And I click this plus button on the box here. When I do that, I need to make sure I authenticate with that tool. So you might have to log in with your Jotform or other account, and then you'll see it added on this connector screen here. So I can see Jotform on the list now, and if I click configure, I can also set up permissions. I've got everything set to always allow, but if you want to make sure that you approve each step that Claude takes, you can change that here too. So I'm going to start a new chat by clicking the plus button on the top left of the screen, and I'm going to ask to create a really simple form. I'm just going to say, create a feedback form with one question that is a 10-point scale. Something really simple to start with. Claude recognizes that I was asking about a form, so it calls in Jotform, and then Jotform gets to work right inside this Claude chat making my form. There it is, just a simple form with a 10-point scale. Now, it might be that I could click this link and go and preview or edit this inside Jotform, but if I want to make changes, I can actually do that right inside this chat. And you might be surprised how complicated you can get with changes as well. To start with, we could just add a question. So we might just say something like, capture their email address to. So now Jotform will get to work and add an email address question. All right, looks pretty good. So we've got the scale and the email address, but I want to take it a step further. I want to find out if someone gives us a low score, why they've given us a low score. So I'm going to say, if someone selects 5 or less, ask a question to find out whether the service or the food was the problem, and hit enter. And here's what it's done. Now, if I select a 2, for example, it then pops up this extra question, was the issue related to the service or the food? But if I select an 8, I don't get it. It's only for 5 and below. So we can even create these conditional questions right inside this Claude chat. And then once this form has been sent out to people and they've filled it out, I can even ask questions about the responses. So I could just ask something simple like, how many people have completed the form? Hit enter, and it shows me the results in a nice table. I can see there's 7 people. It's telling me some stats down here. The average rating is 4.7 out of 10. 5 people triggered the follow-up question and 3 said service was the issue. Nice. So I didn't even need to ask any extra questions to get insights into my form. And that's just one example of connectors in Claude. It's likely that if you're working with other groups of people, you're probably using a tool like Slack. So let's see how Claude could be helpful with the Slack connector. So I've started a new chat in Claude, and this time I'm going to say, what's the status of Project Alpha from Slack? We can see that Claude is connecting to Slack to find the latest information. And it says a message posted today in that channel says that there's a leadership meeting on the 1st of May and there's 2 deliverables expected. And it tells me that in a reply, Tanya confirmed she has both in hand but has asked for budget confirmation. So rather than go into Slack and write a reply, I'm actually going to say, draft a message to the whole team, which lets them know we got approval for a $1 million spend. I just hit enter. It's had a look at Slack, realized that the all how-to tech is the right channel to send a message to the whole team. And it's drafted this message. And if I want to send it, I can just click send, or I could ask Claude in this chat to make edits if I wanted to. So I give it a quick read. I'm happy with it. I click send, and that will now be sent inside that channel inside Slack. Helping with instant messages is one thing, but probably email is going to be a bigger time suck in your day. So let's take a look at how the Gmail connector can help you right inside Claude. So in a new chat, I could say something like, what was the last email I received about Project Alpha? And hit enter. Claude is going to connect with Gmail, do that search, and then come back and let me know the information. And it looks like it's come back and let me know the last message was from Tanya on February the 1st, asking how close we are to being ready for launch. And again, I could go and open Gmail to reply to this, or I could ask Claude to draft a reply right inside this chat without even needing to leave. So I might say something like, reply to Tanya and let her know everything's on track, budget was secured, and we should aim for a summer launch. Hit enter. And now Claude's going to take that little note, draft it into a nice email message, and I'll be able to send it. And in fact, Claude has even given me two options, a friendly and brief version or a more detail and enthusiasm. And once I've got the one that I like, I can just click this little arrow down here and choose send via Gmail. And that will open up the draft, so I'm just one click away from sending it. Back in that chat though, I can do more with Gmail. I could, for example, say, what was the last email I got from Kane, and did I reply yet? So we can even search for emails from specific people, a specific time frame about a specific project, and get a summary of updates on different things that we're working on. So Claude's found the latest email, it tells me it's about the supply chain, and it said I did reply, so that's a weight off my mind. And it's not just communication tools, you can also use connectors with design tools like Canva. So in a new chat here in Claude, I could say something like, create a new design in Canva, which is A5 size, to encourage customers to leave a review. Hit enter. We can see here that Claude connects to Canva. It's going to work on some designs and then show me what it's come up with. So here are a few different designs it's got. I can scroll across to see all four in a bit more detail. I like the third one, so I could go to Claude in the chat here and say, I like the third one most, but let's switch to a more earthy green color palette like this and hit enter. And now it's going to recreate it with this new color palette. All right, and there we go. Claude has come back from Canva with 4 designs, all with an earthy green color palette. And I could go from here and then open up one of these designs in Canva, literally just by clicking and then choosing the open in Canva option. So you can get a lot done without even leaving the chat in Claude. And this reminds me, I actually need to schedule some time with my colleague Tanya. So for our 5th and final connector, let's take a look at how Google Calendar works with Claude. So in a new chat, I might start with something simple just by saying, what meetings do I have this week? Claude figures out that I need to look at Google Calendar, and it's going to take a look and come back to me. It tells me that I have one meeting today with Kane, and it even gives me the link so that I could join the Google Meet nice and quickly as well. But I mentioned I need to meet with Tanya, so I could go back and say, find a mutually good time for me to meet with Tanya on Friday. Hit enter, and Claude will now get to work. It has access to my calendar, so it's going to figure out a good time. And initially it thought it might need her email address to figure out who she is, but it's done its own work to find out Tanya's email address, then go and check her calendar. It's telling me that the whole day is free on a Friday, so then I might say, let's go with 3 p.m. for 30 minutes, and it's about Project Alpha. Hit enter. There we go. Claude has come back and booked that meeting with Tanya on calendar. It's even just given me the link right here so that I can just jump back in here and join with Google Meet. And just to check that it has worked, I can go and see my calendar here. And now on Friday at 3 p.m., we can see there's this Project Alpha meeting on the right-hand side here with Tanya, who has been invited to. So you can do way more than just chat with Claude itself, thanks to connectors, with everything from creating meetings, designing things in Canva, right through to creating and editing forms inside the chat with Jotform. You can get started with Jotform at the links in the description. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, if the video was helpful, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.